The Thompson family prided themselves on tradition. Every milestone was celebrated in grand fashion at their stately suburban home in Maplewood, Illinois. On June 10, 2022, relatives and close friends gathered once again, this time for Robert and Margaret Thompson's 25th wedding anniversary. The occasion promised laughter, music, and memories. Instead, it became the setting for a revelation that would spiral into violence and tragedy. Robert Thompson, 47, was a respected financial advisor, known for his professionalism and generosity. He and his wife, Margaret, a community organizer, were pillars of Maplewood society. Their two children, Ethan, 20, and Grace, 17, were admired for their intelligence and charm. From the outside, the Thompsons seemed flawless, but under the polished exterior, secrets simmered. In the weeks before the party, Margaret had sensed Robert pulling away. Late-night phone calls, unexplained absences, and a guarded demeanor hinted at something darker. When she pressed him, Robert blamed stress at work, but Margaret's instincts told her there was more to the story. The anniversary party drew more than 60 guests to the Thompson home. The backyard was strung with twinkling lights, a jazz trio played near the pool, and the scent of catered delicacies filled the air. Amidst the chatter and toasts, Margaret noticed a new face. A woman in her early 30s, striking, confident, and oddly familiar with Robert. Her name was Vanessa Price, introduced as a colleague from Robert's firm. Margaret raised an eyebrow at her husband's explanation, but said nothing. Throughout the night, however, she couldn't ignore Robert and Vanessa's stolen glances, subtle touches, and whispered conversations. By the time the anniversary toast began, Margaret's suspicions had curdled into certainty. She lifted her glass, her voice trembling but loud enough for all to hear. "To my husband, who promised me forever, and to Vanessa, the woman he's been hiding for nearly 2 years." Gasps cut through the night. Robert's face drained of color. Vanessa, unfazed, placed her hand on Robert's arm as if to claim her place in the chaos. Murmurs spread like wildfire. The Thompsons' perfect image shattered in an instant. Robert tried to contain the damage, pulling Margaret aside into the study. "You didn't have to humiliate me like that," he hissed. "You humiliated me the day you chose her," Margaret shot back. "How long did you think you could keep this secret?" The argument escalated until Vanessa entered the room. Margaret's fury boiled over. "Are you sleeping with my husband?" she demanded. Vanessa smirked. "Sleeping with him? Darling, I've been living with him when he's not here with you." The revelation hit like a thunderclap. Margaret's world crumbled as guests outside whispered in disbelief. Robert's silence was confirmation enough. Margaret stormed from the room, declaring to the crowd, "Robert has been living a double life." The celebration disintegrated into chaos. Guests left hurriedly, leaving behind an atmosphere thick with tension. That night, the Thompson house was silent. Margaret locked herself in the bedroom, Robert slept in his office, and Vanessa shockingly remained in the guest room. By dawn, the fragile peace collapsed. On the morning of June 11th, Margaret descended to the kitchen to find Vanessa casually brewing coffee. "Good morning," Vanessa said smugly. "Robert and I have plans later. You'll need to adjust." Margaret's fury erupted. "You walk into my house, destroy my marriage, and expect me to accept it?" The confrontation ended with Margaret storming upstairs, swearing she'd make both Robert and Vanessa regret humiliating her. That evening, Maplewood police received a frantic 911 call from Ethan Thompson. His voice was panicked. "My mom's screaming. There's blood. Please hurry." When officers arrived, they found Vanessa lying motionless in the living room, a fatal wound to her head. Margaret was in shock, her hands trembling, while Robert paced frantically, insisting he didn't do this. Detectives quickly divided their attention between the grieving wife and the guilty-looking husband. Margaret's scratches suggested a struggle, but Robert's evasive answers painted him as equally suspicious. Forensics confirmed the murder weapon, a heavy crystal vase from the mantel, had been wiped clean. Neighbors complicated the case further. One claimed to see Robert and Vanessa arguing outside earlier. Another swore they heard Margaret shouting threats. For days, the investigation seemed at a deadlock, until surveillance footage from a nearby traffic camera revealed someone unexpected. a man leaving the Thompson home late that night, carrying a duffel bag. Detectives identified him as Daniel Price Vanessa's brother. Known for his volatile temper and history of debt, Daniel had shown up uninvited that evening. Under questioning, he confessed, "She ruined everything, our family, her reputation. I snapped. I thought Robert or Margaret would take the fall." Daniel was charged with second-degree murder. The case shocked Maplewood, and though the truth emerged, the Thompson family never recovered. Margaret filed for divorce, unable to forgive Robert's betrayal. Robert left town, abandoning his once thriving career. Ethan and Grace struggled with the stigma, forever haunted by the night their parents' anniversary celebration became a crime scene. Detective Karen Riley, reflecting on the tragedy, summarized it bluntly. "Secrets don't stay buried. When they surface, the destruction they cause can be worse than the lies themselves."